Oh, I got to figure out how to turn off the music. There we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bound to Talk Football. I'm your host, Blake Walker. Alongside of me is Paul Arridge. How you doing? Happy Wednesday. Paul just finished up with some powder puff football.
Powder puff.
Some inter-league, intramural football at UNI.
Like going off, I caught 1 2-point conversion. It's huge.
Wow.
Goal line fade.
You playing like flag? Is that what you're doing? Wow. Were you tying them around your waist?
This year, we're 2-0.
Were you tying them around your waist so they can't grab your flag?
Yeah.
I hated people that did that in high school.
Well,
or not in high school, middle school. It's like, come on, dude.
I'm shifty.
That's fun. We got a good episode tonight on our Wednesday pod. Not as many questions this week, meaning we have more. How do you say it? We have a couple hot takes this week, but Paul and I are giving our midseason top 4 dome teams, aka as if we are predicting who we think is getting to the dome as of this moment. We're going to go class by class. Paul and I have not shared with each other who we have, so it's going to be kind of a surprise. We're going to go back and forth, debate on it, tell each other that we're both wrong, and it'll be a great time. Again, if you want to submit questions, hot takes, predictions, or whatever in the future, make sure to follow us on Instagram, or I guess you can leave them in the comments on YouTube. Most of the time, we put a story up on Instagram, and that's just where we go about it. And we just have you submit questions or whatever. So a couple good questions, not as many good ones as we had last week. People were slacking a little bit, but that's okay. We'll get it figured out. We'll start with the questions, and then we'll go to our dome stuff. Paul, we got our first question from Simon Schmidt, 22. He says, who is going to rush for more yards in the Turkey Valley versus Clarksville game? Is it McCade Blocker of Clarksville or Oliver Schmidt of Turkey Valley? Couple things on this game. First of all, it's one of our games of the week. It's our 8-player game of the week. Clarksville 5-0 on the year. Turkey Valley is 3-0. My younger brother Tyler, who has been on photos for the Williamsburg's game, ADM, a couple big games this year, he is headed to this game. He's heading north from UNI to go and watch this game, and he's going to take photos. So if you see Tyler wearing a Bound shirt on the sideline, make sure to go and say hi to him. I'm sure he would just love to talk to you. So we'll see how that goes. So
yell at him.
Yell at him. Paul, quick thing on this game. So McCade Blocker of Clarksville, 806 rushing yards this year. Oliver Schmidt of Turkey Valley, 602. Clarksville has over 1,700 rushing yards this season. I am pretty sure it leads the state because it leads 8-player. Mm-hmm. I am going to lean. I don't know if you have their stat page pulled up more, but I think Blocker runs for more yards simply because Clarksville's defense is pretty dang good. I mean, for 8-player, they're not giving up a lot of points.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, they're averaging 9.1 yards per carry this year. That's Clarksville, by the way. And Blocker, I mean, he's lighting it up. 806 yards on the ground already. What is that, 200 a game?
Something like that. Yeah. It's been impressive. And it's not just him. I mean, the quarterback's getting the job done, running back, everybody's getting the job done. Turkey Valley's very good. Their only loss is to Key, and Key's a pretty solid team. Just lost to Don Bosco last week. It wasn't like a bad loss for Turkey Valley. It was a close game over Key. I think it was like 68-56 or something like that. So either way, I think this will be a great game. I'm going to lean Clarksville as the team that rushes the more, but I do agree this game will be won on the ground most likely, and don't turn the ball over. There's a chance of rain on Friday night pretty much all across the state, so that's another thing to keep an eye out as we keep going. Simon, thanks for the question. Your last name's Schmidt, so it makes me think you're related to Oliver. We see what you're doing. S. Harrison _14. Paul, I'll let you start with this one. Should Waukee be a top 3 team in Class 5A? Should they be ranked top 3?
I'd slot them in there, 3rd spot. And that's mainly – now I think Centennial is the 4th best team. I think they'd slide in that 4th spot. And it's close between those two. But I give Waukee the edge just record-wise. And I think they are basically kind of a toss, coin flip. I don't know if you'd agree with that. They're like similar teams, just one extra win. Centennial for me, though, it's hard to not say they're top 3 either. Like, it's a coin flip for me.
I'd say so. I think they're – what's up?
I was going to say I think Centennial's loss is, granted, Southeast Polk impressive, We lost to Ankeny. That's a resume killer right now.
It's
Not that
funny
Ankeny's
because
terrible, just
no,
compared to Waukee.
I mean, technically both of their losses are even, if you could say, because Northwest's 2-2, Ankeny's 2-2. So I mean, it's a toss up. And then you look at okay, well, Centennial, I guess, lost Southeast Polk too. I'm sorry, forgetting about that. I guess do you take a close loss and put it in there as well? But yeah, I'd say they'd be right there. I mean, it's a tough question because then you have to think, you know, I like what Bettendorf's doing, but I don't think they're a top 3 team, just based on their schedule. There's not really anyone else that sticks out. So I'd say Waukee is a top 3 team for sure. But that's a good question. I think they're a fun team to watch. I think that Waukee Northwest loss is tough, but I think you could just throw it out the window. I mean, honestly, that's just how I look at it. I think it's the same thing with Ankeny Centennial. Throw that Ankeny loss out the window. It's a rivalry game. Not saying that those shouldn't count because they do count. A win's a win, but we've seen Ankeny lose to Ankeny Centennial before and go on to win state championship. So, it's just that's how it works. And
runner up, sadly.
Runner up, not change. But, get there. So we have Whittam _ Dylan, so most likely Dylan Whittam, which I think he's from Johnston, if I had to guess.
No, he is.
He's asking his question about Johnston. He says, "Is Johnston still a top 10 team?" Johnston is 2-2, or 2-2. Yeah, so 2-2. Paul, what do you think? Are they still a top 10 team?
Completely depends on how you do your poll. If you're a record guy, then no. I don't think. But if you're me, I think I slot them in the 10 spot.
Honestly.
I mean, I think they're good. I think they have a chance to rebound. I think they need to, they should have some high expectations. We've talked about that with Johnston. I'm going to pull up their schedule or remaining schedule right now. So, Blake, if you want to.
I think one thing, I think you're 2-2. You have wins over who'd you beat? You beat Waukee Northwest, and you beat
Valley.
Oh gosh,
Valley.
So you beat Valley and you beat Waukee Northwest. Not great wins. Combined win total of, let's do math, 2-6, 2-8, whatever. So overall, not great, but you've played well. I think you're gonna turn it around here soon. You lost to I'd say a good Ankeny team who's gotten some things. I don't know. I think I'm with you. I think they're just brink top 10, and if they're top 10, I think they're 10th, like you said.
I think my thing is I need to see this offense kind of sprout and get going. I haven't scored over 23 yet this year, and this is offense that's supposed to be pretty good.
Yep.
We know what Warnock can usually do. He had a rough game last week. This is a big week for them. They got Waukee.
Gotta be. I mean,
If they don't beat Waukee, we're starting to go. You gotta. I mean, it's hard to say they won't make the playoffs, but they've got SEP right after this, and then they've got 3 wins, in my opinion, those last 3 weeks. Urbandale, I know, is a rivalry game, but I think they can win that one. So
SEP's schedule really picks up. I mean, it's been good, but you look at Southeast Polk's schedule. That's why I think they're still going to be clearing away the number 1 until they meet Dowling in a couple weeks, because you got Centennial. This week you go up to Sioux City East, go take care of business on the road. Then you come back and you got Johnston. It's not the Southeast Polk Johnston game that I think we all thought was going to happen at the beginning of the year. But, it's you never know. Johnston could have a fire underneath them after last year's state semifinal. So we'll just have to see. I'm curious how everything shakes out. But you're completely right. We're going to learn a lot this week against Waukee, how they, can get this done. They do get it at home. So
I think Johnston is still a top 10 team, but I mean, the main point is they haven't lived up to what. I mean, people have said this is a dome team, guaranteed.
I think you said this was a dome team, maybe at the beginning.
A lot of people's rankings.
Oh, I'm with you. Statistically, there's no reason why they shouldn't be, if you look at it. So
that's why we play the games.
That's why we play the games. You're right.
As the old man.
I had to throw this one in because it's my alumni. Braden.Johnson _ for his hot take this week. More like a prediction, hot take, whatever. He says Grinnell's going to beat Solon. This is a battle of 2 3-1 teams. Grinnell hasn't beaten Solon in a bit. I don't remember the last time Grinnell's beat Solon. It has to be probably back when I was in elementary school or something like that. This game is at home for Grinnell. Solon, I would have said, yeah, maybe. and then Solon goes out and beats Mount Vernon. And I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. This is a Grinnell team that is better defensively than you think they are. I know they got beat 40-0 by Bondurant, but that's a 4A school. We're not going to talk about that. That was Titus Cram. They're not going to face another opponent like this again. That district's tough. You got Grinnell, Solon, Benton, and Williamsburg. So Benton's really good on the ground as well. This is going to be a ground-heavy game, but Brady Kaufman, Carson Penich, they can get the job done in the air. I'll go with it too. I think Grinnell beats Solon. There we go. First time for everything. I'll go with my alma mater. I think this will be a good game. I think this will be one of the more competitive games between these two teams, but I'll take it. I'll follow you, Braden. Grinnell will beat Solon. Got any thoughts on that one?
Grinnell bias is crazy. Just can't. I think, I don't know, on paper, it's kind of a good game, I guess. I don't know. This is weird. I like Solon's defense. I'm not going to lie.
Solon, not Solon.
My bad. I'm not the best lower classes.
Keep going. You're good.
But I like their defense a lot this year. Mount Vernon is a staple win. Now, again, are we getting a little Johnson vibe from Mount Vernon? Might be.
Hey. Overreactions aren't until next Monday, buddy.
Yeah, my bad. Did I not overreact about that? That would have been a good overreaction. What I overreact?
I don't know.
I think it was some. Doesn't matter.
You've overreacted.
Yeah, they've been good. Assumption was their kind of slip-up game where they just.
That's a good team.
And that's a good team. So I'm leaning the schedule here, Blake. I'm going with the schedule.
All right, whatever. I will say Grinnell's schedule hasn't been pretty. I mean, it's not amazing. Their wins are not amazing, but I just give me my home cooking Grinnell Tigers to get this one. So
that's two.
We'll see what happens. Casey Williamson 39. Columbus beats Grundy. This game is on Thursday Night Football. It gets slotted with Dowling Catholic Roosevelt as your Thursday night football games. He mentioned something about the quarterback battle, Colin Gordon versus Carter Lockhart. And then I looked at the game and I'm like, dang, this will be pretty good. Columbus Catholic is 3-1. Grundy is 4-0. Hopefully Paul's pulling that up so I can keep talking about this just a little bit more. But either way, Paul, statistically, he's right. This is a really good quarterback battle.
Yeah, it is. This will be big for Carter Lockhart because, I mean, Grundy Center's defense has been ridiculous this year.
That is.
And that's something I don't think we talked about that much. We were kind of expecting because last year in the Dome, they just offensively were unbeatable. They dropped an insane amount of their passing attack with Colin Gordon was crazy. But this year, I mean, the most points they've given up this year is 7, and they haven't played slouches. They haven't played a weak schedule. Played AP. They played Pella Christian. These are teams that are,
good teams. Yeah.
So it's a big
Hartford game.
It's a big ask for. I mean, the pressure's on Carter. He's got to perform against a defense that's hasn't been yet this year. So.
Yeah, that Dyke New Hartford game might be studied forever this season
because I think
Dyke New Hartford's very good. I think now that they're getting their offense rolling, I think we might have.
I'm going to check Dyke New Hartford's power index and just see what.
I think they're top 5.
They're 8th.
Yeah. What is their schedule
23-9 opponent schedule.
What's their schedule rank?
Their schedule rank is. How do you see that?
Should be the number right next to. So they're
statewide.
Yeah, it's statewide.
Oh, it just goes out state. I'm gonna try and sort that. Okay. You can keep talking.
It's up there. I think it's up there. Anyway, I think it's a high number for Dyke New Hartford. I think they've played a tougher schedule than most.
It is 8th in
the entire state.
That's just the ranking. Hold on.
Oh my
schedule ranking. They are 1, I think.
Yeah, yep. In the entire state.
No, in just 1A. Why talk about that?
Okay. For this? Well, still, either way, Number 1 in the state. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Good for them. So,
Dyke. Let's go Dyke, New Hartford.
all right, we'll take it. Dyke, New Hartford. I mean, the
Just
question was
randomly
about
work them into this podcast without even.
I'm not going to say – I think you're completely right. I just think Grundy Center's defense is just a little too much for Columbus Catholic, but I'm excited to see the quarterback battle. I'm gonna put it out there. I think Columbus scores more than 7. There's my prediction.
Huge.
So they're gonna score 10. So keep it down there. So, all right, Paul. This is the time that everybody's been waiting for. You and I have crunched the numbers for hours upon hours upon hours. I lost sleep over this. You lost sleep over this.
Definitely
it's time to
make
reveal
this right before the show.
Don't tell them that. It's our mid-season dome predictions. It's roughly halfway through the season. We've seen 4 weeks of these teams, so what better time to say, you know what? We know what's going to happen. We know who's going to the dome. Paul and I are going with how do you want to do this? We have not seen each other's stuff at all. We don't know who's picking who. I think we just go, you say your team, I say my team, and then if I say like someone, for example, let's say like I say Perry for Class 3A. If you had Perry as well, then you're like, okay, well, I had Perry as well. So that's how we'll do it. So I don't have Perry in my I don't have Perry in my 3A football title, but maybe in a couple of years, you never know.
Storm Lake.
Okay. We'll start with Class 5A. Nah, you know what? Let's start 8-player because we always start 5A. It's time to give some love to the bottom.
Wow.
Not to the bottom, but to 8-player that we always go last.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, give me your first. I feel like, okay, so here's my quick prediction on this. We're going to have quite a few teams that are the same. Don't expect anything crazy because, like, most classes, top 2 are pretty much givens, but the rest could be interesting. Give me your first team, Paul.
Going with the boys at Gladbrook Rhinebeck. Are you with me?
Let me also say that this isn't like what we're saying their seating will be. We're just saying.
Yeah, we're just saying.
I agree with you. I also have Gladbrook Rhinebeck. I think they're off to a really solid start. The defense is phenomenal. Matt put a post about that. Their defense and special teams is literally just scoring them points. Your offense doesn't have to do much if their defense is doing that. I don't see a world where Gladbrook Rhinebeck doesn't make it to the state or doesn't make it to the dome.
Yeah, I'm right with you there. Are you going to, like, how are we doing this? We're just revealing one?
So we'll go back and forth. I'll give mine then. And I assume you have them as well. Winfield Mount Union, the Cam Buffington Winfield Mount Union Wolves. And you said it right there. I think Cam Buffington, this is the year. We talked about it in the preseason episode, our first Bound to Talk episode. If this is the year, well, this has to be the year because everything's fallen into pieces. Edwards is such a good quarterback. Buffington's unbelievable. He's on a tear. This is the year Winfield Mount Union's going to the dome.
Yep. Oh, right with you. That defense has been legit. An 8-man helps having Cam Buffington back there. And their offense, I mean, again, Cam Buffington and his teammates are just lighting up. So
nice.
We agree there.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is where it could get.
Okay, here we go.
I'm going to go with Bedford.
Woo! I did too.
Oh, my God. No way.
It's okay. It's not all going to be the same. I think I'm with Bedford's legit. I'm sold. I am sold.
Yeah, I'm sold.
I think Bedford. It's their defense that really gets me because Lennox is very good. Held them to 30? Held Moravia to 20? Like, come on, man. They're the Waco. I've said defense. Yeah, they are the Waco of last year. I just think they are the team to get there. I think this is the year of Bedford. This is the year that they get it. What a weird, out of nowhere story, but I like the Bulldogs. This is where it could get interesting. We have our 4th team. I'm going to go. I got a hint. I'll see if you can guess. They were state champions 2 years ago. Oh, my God.
2 years? Okay.
2 years ago. Okay. I'm going with Cam.
Okay. They're my first team out.
Oh, okay. And I'm going to assume you have Remsen?
Yep.
Okay. They were my first team out. Whoa.
Ooh. Hey, honestly, we were kind of step for step this one.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll go. Give me your reason why Remsen's in.
The dynasty is speaking to me. Just the fact they win and never lose. I mean, when's the last time Remsen's lost?
It's been a hot minute.
It was 2021. I was a senior in high school.
Wow.
So, or 2022.
So you in your mind, it doesn't matter that they lost almost everyone. They're still going to get
It
back.
just doesn't. It hasn't mattered.
All right.
And I mean, it's sketchy. I know. It's a bold. I think like this is, you have them first team out, and I'm honestly surprised.
Well, so here's the thing. Their schedule hasn't been great. They'll get a big game against Arweva in 2 weeks, which that one's a big one. But the Boyer Valley game just really scared me. Like 12-7, like that's just kind of a, now granted, every team can have that type of misstep, but we're not seeing like the top teams completely blow out other teams as much. So I will say it's right on the cusp. I went with Cam just because of Speaker. I think is it Lane Speaker? I can't remember because Chase was the first one, right? Chase Speaker. I think Speaker is phenomenal. They've, some of those guys have been there before. It's just that coaching staff has been there before. I give the advantage to Cam. One other team that none of us said, but I think has a good chance is Central City, because Central City put up the best fight against Winfield Mount Union, and we know how good Winfield Mount Union is.
Yeah, they'd be like my second team out. Argument for first team.
Yeah, I definitely think that's one of the top. So, all right, that's one class down. Quick rehash. I have Winfield Mount Union, Gladbrook, Rhinebeck, Bedford, Cam. Paul has
Gladbrook, Rhinebeck, Winfield Mount Union, RSM, and Bedford.
There you go. See, this is fun. I was like, it's good when we don't know who we're picking. Let's go to Class A. My first team. Nope, it's your turn. You go. First team.
I mean, I feel like we both agree on this one.
Yeah.
St. Ansgar.
Yeah, easy. I mean, that team. Defensively, very good. Beat Osage, who is very good. I think they're just set. I think they're on a good track to get there. I'm excited to see how they turn out this season, but good. We both agree. Yeah, West Hancock. Yeah. My second team they were here last year. I'm going to go Woodbury Central. I think they have a phenomenal offense. I think they're going to be just fine. Drew Kluender's phenomenal for them. They've been here before. I think they get back. They're hungry to get back. Nobody's really been talking about them. We haven't talked about them. I think Woodbury Central gets back to the Dome.
Yeah, I have them. We both are step for step there. All right, here's one that maybe we're different on. I got Madrid.
I got Madrid. Yep.
Madrid. Of course,
Madrid is in a different country.
Yep. Real Madrid. I forgot I said that, I think, earlier.
Now, I will say, big game this week for these guys against Earlham.
Yep. Yeah.
But I like what they've shown so far. I think, Preston Wicker is phenomenal. Good at linebacker, good at quarterback. This feels like a team that has played in the close games, has played very good teams. Like, I don't think we can understate that. They've played good teams so far this season. I think they keep rolling. So that's a good pick. So we're 3 of 3 again. Now we get our fourth one. I'm gonna go.
I think we're gonna be step for step.
I'm gonna go ACGC.
Nope, we aren't step for step. Got West Hancock.
Okay, so I will say, I completely forgot about West Hancock. I shoved them out of my mind after the St. Ansgar thing. But
I mean, ACGC statistically, I can see why you put.
So here's why. That running attack is so good. That offense is very good. And the defense has shown just enough. And statistically, they have played a tough schedule. They're playing teams. It's not like they're playing nobodies. So as much as ACGC was asking, you got to rank us, I'm like, I'm going to put you in the Dome. That's how good you've been so far. So I love your West Hancock pick. I'm curious to hear what you think about that. But yeah, ACGC is right there for me.
Yeah. I mean, that team can run the ball, let me tell you. And you're right. Yeah. Play good teams. For me, West Hancock, I mean, I think you can give a team that's usually this good, like Dome good, championship good, a slip up. Happens all the time. We see it with Dowling. When Dowling was a 7P team, they slipped up all the time. I think they still easily are talented enough to win. They have dominated 2 teams, and then the Osage was a really good game, and then obviously the St. Ansgar lost, where I think turnovers bit them, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
That can easily sway and change. We might be seeing a rematch later in the year.
I think so.
like
I
a
think you're
4-1
right.
type.
Quick. I think Linville Sully was my first one out. I think
I didn't really make a first one out for this, but I'd probably go ACDC.
Yeah, as someone that I was thinking of, when Quarter Noun Harder comes back, I think Linville Sully will be right back to what they were. But yeah, they still, like you said, just keep winning. Make sure you get into the playoffs.
West
Hancock,
right there. 3 turnovers against St. Ansgar.
Yeah, they're right there. So I don't know. We'll jump up to Class 1A, where you and I for sure have the same top team. I guarantee it. Grundy Center goes back with Colin Gordon in tow, Justin Kanak, that whole team. I think you said it. Their defense is playing great. It's only a matter of time before their offense really starts clicking. The defending state champs look like they're on a great path to make it 2 in a row.
Yeah, we're lockstep there. Grundy Center. I mean, I was figured we've been hyping them up for a long time since episode.
Who you got as your second team in?
We've got MFL Marmac.
Okay, I got him in as well. I put him as the third team. Granted, this doesn't matter, but their offense is very good, and their defense is just phenomenal. I mean, they lost their guy last year.
I was about to say, didn't they lose Driscoll?
They lost Zach Driscoll, but they've recovered well, and I don't see a flaw in them right now. Like, they just look really good defensively.
Where's Driscoll again?
He's at Decorah.
How are they?
They are 3-1. They just lost this week to Independence. Okay. So
my guys, right? That's my team. Tate Wood.
Yeah. So MFL Marmac, our second team. Third one, again, I think you might have these guys. I'm gonna go with the Cyclones of Denver.
Do not.
You do not have Denver. I like this Denver team. This reminds me. Denver has always been one of those teams that the last couple of years they'll be good, but then they just can't get over that hump. I think this is the team that gets it. That win over Wapsie Valley was really good. They're a tough, gritty type of offense. I think this is the year that Denver gets to Cedar Falls. That's how I have them going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I see it. The main thing that scared me away, that opponent schedule, 2-8. Yeah, the teams they played pretty bad. I mean, I say that, but MFL Marmac also has a 2-8 opponent schedule, so maybe I'm just not looking in the right places. But I went a different way with this, and I'm assuming you have this team.
Ooh.
I hope. Maybe not. I have Underwood.
No, I don't have Underwood.
Ooh, that's going to be interesting. The team that stuck it with Van Meter.
Well, so here's the thing. It came down to Underwood and Denver, and I just think I just had a feeling, man. I get the Underwood thing, but their other games have been what? Kemper Catholic, and it's nothing crazy. I think I think he's gone. I think Underwood's good, but I look at that Van Meter game, and it just felt like one of those week one, we don't know what's happening kind of games,
I could see that with Van Meter's quarterback situation.
Yes. Give me your reasoning.
My reasoning is that Van Meter game, I think that is insanely impressive because that team we are holding to a championship standard in 2A. Yeah. They stuck with them. I mean, schedule-wise for them, they've got Shenandoah coming up next, Trainer, Missouri Valley, and Red Oak.
Trainer will be a big game.
Trainer will be a good game. It's kind of their last circle. They just went into HSTW, mouthful, for their homecoming. Just handing them an L.
Gotcha.
Big on Underwood. I mean,
all right.
Sorry, Denver, because they kind of have similar. I don't know. Denver would be my first team out.
Have you revealed your 4, or do you have one more left?
I got one more.
Okay, I got one more left as well. I'm going to go with history, and they've been there before. They didn't make it last year, but they've been there before. I'm going with Regina Catholic. Yeah.
Yep. I mean,
so here's the thing. We're not talking about these boys. They're really good. I don't think they've played a lot of guys or played very great teams, but it's Regina, man. I'm not doubting them.
Yeah. My main scary thing is the 1-9 opponents.
Ooh, yeah.
Little rough. Shout out Wilton, by the way. Their opponents are 0-10.
Wow.
played winless teams the entire year. Give them a
That'll
test.
do it. The history does it for me. These guys, some of these guys have been here before. I like it. I just think winning is good, but they've, despite the schedule strength, you think about it, there's not many teams with great schedule strengths in some of these lower classes. So it's going to happen. I think Regina's got a good enough tool set to make it back.
And we give them the whole, they've played no one, but they've also just dominated the teams they played. So you can't really when a team slips up and keeps it close, then you can kind of be all critical, but we can't. They dominated these teams.
Yeah. So to recap, my 1A teams: Grundy Center, Denver, MFL Marmac, and Regina Catholic. Paul is rolling with.
I'm rolling with Grundy Center, MFL Marmac, Underwood, and Iowa City Regina.
Wow, there we go. I think this 2A may be a little bit more chalk, but I think once we get up, I think it gets interesting. Maybe 5A will be pretty much the same, but 3A and 4A will be cinema. So we'll get to 2A. I'll start with the easy one. Van Meter's going back. Van Meter's going to have a chance to win it again. Easily, yep. Van Meter moves on.
We have Van Meter. Same thing you kind of said with Regina. It's just this team wins. They never
been there.
They just been there. And it's not like they've got new faces either. They straight up got Ben Gordon still. So,
yeah,
very hard to not put this team in.
Next one, I feel like also easy. Obviously, don't have your champion quarterback from last year, but Reese Vanderzee and Central Lyon, I think nothing's stopping them right now. They get Cherokee this week, a little bit tougher opponent, but I think Central Lyon, is on set, should get back.
Yeah, they're got some tests coming in the late season, almost a test this week with Cherokee, Washington, but Western Christian and West Lyon to end the year.
That is tough. That's that's not an easy stretch.
Reese has been great. Graham Eben, that's a big name. He's got 14 rushing touchdowns. That's got to be up there in the state lead. This team is a buzzsaw right now.
Yeah.
Haven't lost in about 2 years, I think it is.
It's been up there. Who you got for your third team? I'll let you go.
Going with West Lyon.
Oh, same. So their defense is legit, and I think that's what really gets me. Spoiler alert, I'm picking them to beat West Christian this week, or Western Christian. Ooh. I just think they're a sound team. I don't know if they'll get past Central Lyon here in a couple weeks. I think it'll be a great game. I think that'll be their only slip up, but they're tough. They're physical. They've always been physical. So I really like, and they've been here before. Like, they've been to the Dome. So I just like West Lyon in this one to get there.
Their defense has pitched 3 shutouts this year.
Wow. I'm telling you, I'm glad we both saw that, because I think they're so sound defensively that I just really I think they can get there. So
yeah.
Fourth team, it's probably gonna be different. We'll see. I'm going with the Green Devils of Osage to make it.
Good pick.
Who you got?
I've got Western Christian.
Okay, so I'm going to go Green Devils because they have played St. Ansgar and West Hancock. The two arguably could be top 2 teams in Class A, and they beat both of them. So I think that's going to be a fun – they're just a good team. I don't think people are thinking about how good of teams they've beaten. They're a wrestling school, so they got a bunch of big guys on there that are really good wrestlers, really good down in the trenches. I like Osage. I think Osage is a team to sneak in. This class gets very mucky after about 2 or 3 teams. Like, it gets a little like, ooh, who are we going with? I love Tipton. I just don't think they're going to get there. I just think their schedule's pretty easy, but I do appreciate how good they've been. I think they're going to go 9-0, and you never know. They could be a surprise team, but I like Osage as that 4th team. Why are you going with Western Christian?
I really like their defense this year. They've given up 6.8 points per game. Cherokee Washington was a huge win. My thing is, I think they're going to have 2 losses potentially going in. Yeah, they're going to play. So they have West Lyon this week, and then they've got Central Lyon week 8. So that's tough, but I think that kind of almost helps them out in a way. Like, they're going to play the top. These are the top dogs. and I think they'll mow through. I think hopefully the IHSA recognizes that and puts them in a district that's not going to be like a war.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm with you. I think that'll be a good one. So our 2A teams, mine are Van Meter, Central Lyon, West Lyon, and Osage. Paul's are?
Mine are Central Lyon, Van Meter, West Lyon, and Western Christian.
There we go. This is where it gets fun. This is why I might have saved these for the back end. Class 3A. I'll go with the easy one. Williamsburg is going to the Dome.
Yep.
Easy.
Step for step.
Easy.
All right.
The offense is so good. Kellen Cockrell, Derek Wieskop. The whole team is just phenomenal. I don't see them not getting there. They are just a buzzsaw. They beat Xavier. They handle Fort Madison. They get Solon. They get Benton here in a couple weeks. We'll really get some more thoughts on them, but they're going back. And they're hungry because after last year's loss.
Yeah. They're averaging 40 a game. They haven't played like terrible teams. So, Williamsburg is good. Shocker. Shocker.
Second team, I think we're both going to be same on this. Go ahead.
Creston.
Yep. I'm with you.
Okay.
I think as of right now, best team that could beat Williamsburg.
Yeah. Best shot at it.
Cale Turner. I know we talk about Brendan Hayes, but Cale Turner is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. That Lewis Central win is just such a staple.
Yeah. It's huge.
And then they've done what they need to do against the other teams.
Right. And they get a challenge this week. They will get challenged here in the next couple of weeks, but nothing has told me that they're not going to slip up. I think this week against Harlan will be very, very interesting. I still haven't picked who I'm going to have win that game, but I think Creston is very good, very talented. So
that Harlan one's very interesting.
That's a big game. Number 3, this is where it gets. I think this is where we're going to be different. Just my opinion. I got Assumption. Do you have Assumption?
I'm actually with you.
What? Oh my gosh! I thought
I have a shocker for my 4th team. So
okay.
So we won't be.
I kind of have. I thought I had a shocker for my 4th
Oh
team.
no! All right, we're good.
We'll see. Anyway, only losses to North Scott by 7 points. North Scott is a 4A school. Assumption will continue to play tough opponents the rest of the year. I think their running game is very good. I think Assumption gets to the Dome.
Yeah, right with you. Love the running game. They've played really good teams. They've got kind of everything you want in a 3A team too, like team that's just played up. Played high comp. So yeah,
they're there.
We're step for step, and
all right.
If we match up here, because I thought this was like a sleeper pick.
All right, go ahead.
Going with Alex Mansky and Algona.
Okay, good.
We aren't locked for lock.
Tell me about Algona.
Algona, I said I came out beginning of the season with the quarterback ranking, best quarterback in each class. Mansky was my number 1. I was a little suspect of that because Joey Romberg, I think, is the other competing quarterback kind of in this class. He has lived up to it, been ridiculously good. They play teams later in the season that are going to really prove it, but they've started off pretty hot. The Spirit Lake game, watch the film on that one. I think Algona's kind of fumbled it. I think they had that win. I think it was a week 1 kind of fluke. Kids are cramping. Apparently also Mansky been saying that they kind of choked that game. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think having a really good quarterback is a big deal, especially in the playoffs, and a dude that can run as well. He's not just going to be frigid in the cold. They got Clear Lake, Humboldt, Webster City,
big
and Hampton.
Game. Yeah.
They've got dogs coming up. And only 2 of those games are at home. They got Charles City, by the way. Sorry. Didn't want to not talk about Charles City. But yeah.
That's a good pick. I like that pick. That's a good pick. Mine is also, I guess, technically a shocker. These guys lost this week, but I'm not giving up on them. I think Nevada gets to the Dome in Class 3A. I still believe in the defense. And trust me, Hampton Dumont Cal fans are going to be so mad at me. But I just think, like you said, Paul, you're not going to be – not every team's going to be perfect. You're going to have a loss on your schedule. And I think that this last week was the wake-up call that I think Nevada needed. I know they have Harlan coming up. I think they have Creston coming up. It's not easy. But I just think Nevada – this just feels like a team that can do it if they get things figured out. And, this past game just didn't go in their favor. But Paul, we cannot stress. We just left the two teams that fought in the state title game last year off the list in Mount Vernon and Harlan. Do we have anything to say about that?
I think my 5-6 goes Hampton and Harlan.
Yeah.
And I
Mount
think
Vernon just scares me. I just the Solon game was big, but the O-line is just still a problem. The defense isn't bad, but they just I don't know.
Mount Vernon kind of scared me away, to be honest.
Joey can only do so much. That's really what I'm looking at. He can only do so much. Harlan, I haven't seen enough. Arkfeld's a good quarterback, and I think we'll learn a lot this week. That's the thing. Our opinions will change after this week. That's just going to happen. But as of this moment, this is what we think. And we will go back and look at these predictions later in the year. But anyway, there's not enough out of Harlan right now. And Lewis Central, the closest game you had, Lewis Central's 2-2, and we don't really know how legit Lewis Central is. So
I'd say we know by now that Lewis Central's good.
Yes.
But it's not like the staple win that it'd normally be.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So I hope we are bulletin board material for Mount Vernon and Hampton Dumont Cal and Harlan.
We're realistically bulletin board material for like 10.
We're everything. Yeah, we're everything right now. But so fun. My 3A, Williamsburg, Creston, Assumption, Nevada. Paul's is
Creston, Williamsburg, Algona, and Assumption.
All right. That Assumption pick, I'm glad we both agree on that. That's a game recognized game move right there.
Yeah.
This is where it might get fun right here.
Yeah.
This right here might get fun.
I have a feeling we're gonna match up here, but
yeah, we probably will. But in my mind, I think it's gonna be fun. ADM, first team.
We can make our
Okay.
Case in point, that offense, ridiculous.
And
that defense,
yeah, that defense getting the job done
all of a sudden. So, hey, if they are balanced, I mean, they're looking scary.
Schedule's not easy the rest of the way. There are a couple more tests, I think, thrown in there, but they've done what they've needed to do through the first couple weeks. That Lewis Central game, take it as you will. I still don't know what to think of that game. In a way, I'm like, he got hurt, have to react quick, just couldn't do it in time. That's what happens. But I'm all aboard the Aiden Flora train. I think ADM gets back to the dome.
Yeah.
Who's your second team?
I've got Bondurant.
Yep, right with you. I mean,
that should be. I feel like those two picks are pretty unanimous right now. Bondurant had that slip up to start the year, but I mean, we've given every team a slip up.
Yeah,
it's high school football. This isn't the college football playoff.
I go on board with Titus Cram. I think they've just slipped in the playoffs the last couple of years. And I just think this is the year it doesn't happen. It's happened enough. I feel like you've gotten over that. You know what to expect. You're going to go in and get to the dome where you should have been, honestly, maybe could have been last year. So I think I like Bondurant to sneak in as well. Third team, boy, we might have the same teams.
No,
I'm going to go with the Lancers of North Scott.
Nope. Oh, my God.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
I'll give you North Scott, Girardi, I think, is very good. I think he is a phenomenal quarterback. They get Xavier here in a couple of weeks, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So they get a couple more tests, but the Assumption win looked good. They've played their way through. I think, Western Dubuque, that loss is tough, but those are two phenomenal teams. I said that could be a dome preview. I think North Scott gets to the dome.
Yeah, I mean, I like the pick, but I'm going with the team that beat them.
Western Dubuque.
So
you've taken all. That's my other team. Yeah, I got Western Dubuque in there.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a different. We have another.
You have a different. Yeah. So we're different. We have three.
Yeah. Okay.
Same.
I didn't
three.
think we'd be different, to be honest.
No.
Yeah, I really like Western Dubuque. Their one loss to Xavier, which was insanely close. 2022 was the score there. Yeah, this team's legit, in my opinion. I'm sure this might be your first team out or about around there.
Who?
Western Dubuque.
No, they're in. I have Western Dubuque in.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have ADM, Bondurant, North Scott, Western Dubuque. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Grant Gloucester, great offense. Their offense is very good. Their defense is good. I think they've been here before. Granted, it was years ago, won the state championship. I think Western Dubuque is all around solid team and can get to the dome.
Yeah. Right with you there.
I think I know who
And
your
this
14
defense
is.
forces a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, they do.
9 forced turnovers this year.
They do. I think I know who your 14 is, but let the people know.
Xavier.
Okay.
Believe in them still. I'm not falling out on them after 2 losses to teams that, I mean, Williamsburg we talked about. It's kind of like, okay. Lost
The
to a
Pella
really
game
good team.
threw me away.
The Pella game's the scary one. That's scary. And I'm leaning on the fact they win. And they always
do. They have not made it since 2019. So they've been there. Ironically, that was the year that Western Dubuque made it and won through. North Scott beat Xavier that year in the playoffs 9-3. But
Xavier's the
it's been a
only
bit.
team that has the playoffs and this already set. Like,
what do you mean?
Like they have 4 extra weeks at the end of their season that say playoffs.
Okay. So they said we're
fixed.
going.
And they said,
All right.
we've made up our mind.
They'll get back on track this week against Clinton, but that's I thought this would be the year. I just thought this was the year that Xavier might not make it. So my team's ADM, Bondurant, North Scott, Western Dubuque, Paul's R.
Bondurant, ADM, Western Dubuque, Xavier.
All right, so our only differences are North Scott and Xavier. What's been our biggest 3A was our biggest differentiator.
I think so. Yeah.
5A, I have a bad feeling we're going to be exactly the same on 5A.
I don't know.
We'll see. Top 2, get them out of the way. Southeast Polk, Dowling Catholic.
Yep.
Okay.
Spot for spot, those 2 teams have set themselves apart.
I'm excited to see. I hate that they play each other so late in the year, but I'm excited to see who wins that one. I'll say this: whoever loses the Week 8 matchup goes on and wins the whole thing if they end up playing each other again.
So you're thinking like revenge?
Yes.
Wait, these 2 teams play each other?
Yeah. In like 3 weeks.
Really?
Week 8. Week 8.
I don't have that on their schedule.
Is it not? What's on the 12th or whatever? Oh, the 20th.
20, Des Moines, Roosevelt, Centennial for Dowling, and then Urbandale, Sioux City North.
Is the schedule wrong?
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll look at it later. But anyway, I think two very, very solid teams. So I'm excited to see how that
solid. I mean, they've set themselves apart.
Yeah.
Dowling a little bit less, I think. Actually, now SEP has some slip-ups here. Centennial and Valley. And by slip-ups, I mean they win, which is kind of harsh. But,
yeah, absolutely.
All right, here we go. Third team.
Who do you got? 3.
I like Centennial.
Okay, I'm with you.
I like Centennial. I think Waukee does have a legit chance. As I've said, they're kind of the coin flip. It's going to be there. So what's going to happen is Centennial's going to be in a brutal sub-state, most likely, unless they win out. Looking at their schedule, I mean, they play Dowling. If they beat Dowling, then we're looking at, like, wow. I mean, easy dome pick. But right now it's kind of a, not sleeper, but not like a for sure pick, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm
with you. I think that's a big game up front. I think that's big. Yeah. So the week in between on the schedule, Dowling doesn't have a game set on the 13th yet. So that's when they play Southeast Polk. So they're hiding it from us. You had me scared there for a second, but yes, they do play.
Because I was like, I remember that being a game, but then I was like, looking at the schedule.
Yeah, for some reason it's not on bound, but so we're both going with Centennial. I agree. I think close game against Southeast Polk. That was the big one that really got people going. I think their 2 losses are fine. Ankeny's just Ankeny right now.
Yeah. They've got guys too. Like they've got position guys.
Yeah, absolutely. You have no idea how badly, because I'm thinking history. I was like, I'm gonna put Ankeny as my number 14, but I'm not gonna put Ankeny. I think Waukee is the number 14.
I'm going a little bit different.
Bettendorf, Cedar Rapids, Jefferson.
Going out east, and I'm doing that.
Uh-oh.
That's how sub-state works. Is there's going to be an Eastern Iowa sub-state to get an Eastern
Not
Iowa
always. Hey. Not
most
always.
of the time. I get what you're saying because last year But I don't think we're going to see any of these teams do that. Like, who are they going to throw in? Ankeny? That'd be like the Valley of last year, Johnston, which actually is kind of scary. Johnston or Ankeny being a team in your substation. I think Kennedy.
Okay.
I mean, we've liked Kennedy all year. They've got the talent. They've competed with the CIML. Dowling, who's a top dog. They basically, I mean, they held their own. So that's my pick for Eastern Iowa. Usually there's an Eastern Iowa team in if you don't know.
My thing is that I worry, not worry, but I got a feeling they'll send like Southeast Polk on that east side because that's what they kind of do. Like they played Prairie last year to get to the dome.
But there's so many teams. Like it was Pleasant Valley was supposed to be a team that
that's true.
State.
But I think they're I like the pick. I think Kennedy, the passing attack is really good. They've shown a lot. I went with Waukee. I just think they're very good. I think that loss to Northwest again, rivalry game. You know, what are you gonna do? Tough loss. I think their offense is phenomenal. Their defense is really good. I really like Waukee. I think
I will say this has nothing to do with my top 4 teams. My top 4 teams would be your top 4.
Yes, yeah. No, and that's completely fine. We know that. We're differentiating from who we think will make it to the dome. But no, I like the pick, and I just think it's another all CIML year. Again, all of this depends on districts. We don't know how people are seated, blah blah blah. But
which would be sad if it's all CIML again.
Yeah, you know, but
that's not normal.
No, but it gave us a heck of a playoffs last year.
No, it did. It did.
It gave us a really good. Well, it gave us one good game, I should say. But you know, just how it shook out.
I mean, it did give us a game though that was just storybook.
Yeah, but that's rare that you put them at that. But yeah, so my 5A schools: Southeast Polk, Dowling Catholic, Ankeny Centennial, and Waukee, and Paul's are
Southeast Polk, Dowling, Centennial, and Kennedy.
Sweet. That was fun. It was interesting to see where we're different. I'm curious what everybody else will think. I'm sure so many people disagree with us, and that's completely okay because we're just two guys behind microphones that, you know, what do we know? But it's going to be a good season.
Come out with a post. It's going to say we're halfway through the season. Give us your dome picks.
So. All right, there you go. Yeah, that's a good one. We'll let the people listen to ours. We don't put ours out on full display, but no, that's cool. So that's all we got for this episode of Bound to Talk Football.
Whoa.
No. We got our upset picks of the week. Dang, man. I jumped ahead of myself.
We're good.
All right. My bad.
We can go quick. Big app for a midweek. Almost an hour.
Big app for a week. Yeah. But people are liking it. We're getting good listens. Our volleyball episode was really good. People really listen to that. So thanks to everybody for listening, everybody subscribing and whatnot. My upset pick of the week. Let me give some background. It's a good thing that you were stopping me because I think this will be great. Let me give you some background. Waterloo West takes on Waukee Northwest this week. There's my upset of the week. But let me give you insight into this game. I was looking it up today. I chatted with Lonnie Moore of Waterloo West today. Great guy, by the way. Great guy. Excited to see him on Friday because I get to call that game. Waterloo West has not beaten a Des Moines metro school, not public school, has not beaten a metro school in the school's history. It has never happened. Think about that. It has never happened.
I don't even know how that's possible because
they have gone to the state championship game in the 90s, and they didn't have to play one. Well, maybe they had to play one, but they didn't beat one, I guess I should say. They've just moved along and they've beaten teams out east. They went 8-2 in like 2016, didn't have to play a Des Moines metro school. The last time they beat a CIML school was Newton, when Newton was in the CIML back in 1991. That was in the state semifinals. It's a long time coming for Waterloo West. This is a good team. Frazier, Dean, that backfield's really good. They got a dog on offense at the wide receiver position who also plays defense. Waukee Northwest is good. They have a turnover problem this year. Waterloo West, I'm taking the Warhawks. First time in history, they will beat a metro school.
Yeah. All right. Bold pick. I mean, I've just picked against Waukee Northwest a lot. these past 2 years, and most of the time it bites me.
Yeah.
So that's why I'd oppose it.
Taking a chance.
This is a weird one. To be frank, there's not a lot of easy, even good upset picks.
He didn't want to swing for the Stars.
I mean, I didn't want to shoot for a number one team getting beat this week.
Yeah.
Not bold like that. I've Webster City versus Clear Lake. I have Webster City bouncing back in the win. Clear Lake's opponent schedule has been really bad, and I think Webster City's kind of been roughed up with some competition, which I think is good for them. So I like Webster City to rebound, get a win. Tough upset picks though this week. There wasn't a one that I like.
I guess I technically gave 2, if you will, because I think Solon's favored over Grinnell, but yeah, we'll take it. Waterloo West over Waukee Northwest. Paul is taking Webster City over Clear Lake. So that's your upset picks of the week. We will be back Friday morning to give you your preview for the week. We appreciate everyone for sending in questions. Make sure to let us know about your dome teams. And yeah, that's all we got. Thanks to everybody for listening, watching, subscribing. He's Paul Aridge. I'm Blake Walker. We'll see you on Friday. Thanks for watching Bound to Talk Football.